Today on the Extreme Channel, not only are we going to look at this custom Venom bust, but we are reminded that the age-old adage, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, and something's going to happen in a review today that has never happened before on this channel. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome to the Extreme Channel. My name is Mr. X. This is Venom. Big portion of this channel for all you new people is all about extreme collectibles. While I wouldn't call this extreme, it is definitely unique. And as I said in the intro, there is some interesting stuff going on. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. But, my God, looks like he's going to turn and lick me. Before we dive into a review, we are actually doing a statue giveaway. And don't worry, it's not this one. I wouldn't make you suffer that much. We are going to hit 20,000 subscribers in 2020. To do that, we're giving away a statue every 2,500 subs. At 15,000 subs, the winner will get to choose between these two PCS Mortal Kombat statues. Make sure that you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. Then stay tuned towards the end of this video to find out how to enter. So today we are officially reviewing this custom life-size Venom bus. Custom means it's a private commission. They actually only made 30 of these. They did a few different variants. And I'm a huge Venom fan. I've actually done so many different videos about Venom collectibles. You can check a whole bunch of them out. Here's a countdown of some of my top Venom pieces. And I have a few more on order. This is actually the third life-size Venom bus I have ever purchased. I had this other custom one, which I liked quite well. But one of the big supporters of the channel actually ended up buying it. And then I have this piece from Sideshow Collectibles, which is also awesome. And I bought this on a whim. They teased this in a Facebook group from a company that I've actually heard of before through some other means. And I thought the prototype, the render, looked interesting. Not great, but interesting. Here's a picture of it right here. And they were advertising this for $600, which is unheard of for a life-size bus. I think it was right around $600. So I thought, you know what, $600, that's not going to hurt. Shipping was only $100 or $150 or so, and it only took a couple weeks to get here from China. And that's where that age-old adage, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. What am I talking about? Let's dive into the extreme review and see if this statue stacks up. Is there a reason it was only priced at $600? So first thing we're going to look at is concept of the piece. Now, because it's a Venom, we don't know what the source material is. To me, it looks like it's supposed to be from the latest Venom movie. Could be a comic-based Venom, could be a cartoon-based Venom. If you've seen any of my other Venom videos, I always talk about the creators of Venom usually either go one way or the other. What I mean by that is they make a really creature-esque Venom, a Venom that is more of an animal, or they make a more humanoid Venom. And we'll look at all that. Let's look at this concept. So with the bust, one nice thing I like about this is the entire bust is part of Venom. I think that's smart. You guys know I hate it when it's on a little pedestal, especially if the pedestal doesn't have anything special to it. And as you move up Venom, some of the things that are kind of a spoiler for paint and sculpt, there's some weird things going on with this suit. They tried to make it look alive like a symbiote moving. It didn't work, and we'll just leave it at that for now. You see his shoulders. I think the size is done really well. Venom's a much bigger character. So I think they're accurate on the scale, which is more of a design thing. Then you get up to his mouth, and he has your typical huge Venom teeth, huge Venom tongue. They're not done very well. And you have your Venom eyes. Now, one big thing about the concept of this is, while it's clear it's Venom, this looks like a Venom that was kind of crushed or created by a child. Just looking at this, it does not look good. And it's not just the paint and sculpt items we're going to talk about, but I don't like it. Right out of the box, the concept of this, I don't like it. To me, like I said, it's more of a movie Venom, but there are so many things that seem wrong with this. And it may be the fact that there's some crazy bad design stuff, there is some crazy paint and sculpt bad stuff going on that all ties into that. But the concept is just a complete miss, as this is a complete mess. The only thing I give them props for is the size of this and the fact that it doesn't have a little pedestal. But honestly, the concept's pretty ugly, so that is a 2 out of 5 on my scale. U for ugly, 2 out of 5 on the concept for this piece. Now let's jump into design. First of all, the material this is made out of, it's plastic. It's plastic or PVC. It's incredibly light, which explains why the shipping was so cheap. Here is the box that it came in. It was a fairly large box. As I said, it is a good-sized bus. And there are actually 3 different parts on the inside. It's your classic white foam, messy white foam. The tongue is a separate part, and the nameplate, the COA, is a separate part. And honestly, save me some money on this and spend some more money onto this guy. That's all I'm going to say. But there are some really bad design things. Let's take a look at those. First of all, the tongue itself was incredibly hard to get in, and the way it's shaping out of the mouth just doesn't flow well. I think that's a big miss. Also, you can see where the tongue connects to the mouth. Totally looks fake. He has no throat that it goes down. There's a big gap in the back. Huge miss. And then for the drool saliva effect, instead of using, like a clear resin, it looks like they use super glue and they just let it drip. I'm pretty sure it's super glue, actually. So what kind of $600 piece do you just put super glue all over? Either that or put the kids away right now. Spider-Man had a good time with Venom and left it all over his face. Also, the shape of the head, I think, is incredibly off for Venom. It's just really, really weird, and I think that's probably more of a sculpt thing, but I have to throw it in design. Last thing is kind of the tendrils that hold his mouth together. These right here, they're strings. They look like strings. So as I said, it also did come with a nameplate. Here's a close-up picture of it. Kind of an interesting nameplate, and they put a, looks like an Asian person's head. Maybe that's the person that owns the studio. And just in case you guys do want dimensions, the widest point is 27 inches, very large. So I do appreciate the scale of it. One of the few things I can say I appreciate. It's about 22 inches high. And then with his tongue, he's about 24 inches deep. Without it, which you can display without it, I'll show that in a second, it's 17 inches deep. So here's a picture with his tongue. And then here's a picture without it. So very, very cheaply done is my point. Paint and sculpt, we're going to find some even worse stuff. But I think when you come to design on this piece, like I said, I like the fact it wasn't on a pedestal, but that still doesn't mean the fact that this design on this isn't trash. This is a 1 out of 5. One of the lowest scores I've ever given. Because the goal always is that, hey, when I purchase a piece, hopefully it's always a 5 out of 5. If I'm investing this much money, hopefully it's a fantastic statue. Now, I wish I could say it's going to get better with paint and sculpt, but it's not. And instead of doing pictures because of the reflection on this piece of plastic here, I'm going to do a video close-ups for you guys. So let's dive in. All right, so let's dive in here, starting with Venom himself. So they have this shiny, glossy paint that they started over him. You can actually see the reflection of the lights. You can even see me on there. And then they just kind of drew some white lines all over. I don't know what's going on there, and there's some that are thicker and more faded. And there's no rhyme or reason. Traditionally on Venom, you do see some blue. And it almost appears a tiny tint of blue, but it's white. It's white underneath the lights. I don't know how it's appearing on camera. And the worst part of this is the symbiote suit. Almost looks like they had some hot black wax that they kind of just let drip everywhere. It'd be really interesting to me to see if they were all the same or all very random. But it does not look good. Plus the musculature, while Venom is a little bit different, his shoulder blades just don't seem to flow very well at all. I mean, this is just a big blob of a mess. It's disgusting, it's nasty, I don't know what they were thinking. And then you have none of that symbiote on his head, interestingly enough. So shiny, see, there's me right there. So let's look at his horrible looking tongue. First, I think this is supposed to be the underside of his tongue. I don't know what these nodules coming out. And this pink candy, cotton candy color is horrible. There is some venation in there, but it doesn't look good. It looks like it was drawn on by a child, this red and purple. Really, really bad. The underside is actually smooth. This is definitely the way to display it though, because it wouldn't fit in the other way.
That's what she said.
Let's take a look at the strings right here. This looks horrible. Like I said, the one redeeming factor is kind of that the gums behind it, but I think there needs to be more red color, but I like the saliva effect on there. That's the only really decent part about the paint and the sculpt. And then here's a close-up of that hot glue that they just left dripping to simulate saliva. Horribly done. Then his teeth. These are way too dark. You never see Venom with this dark of teeth. They're all the same size. They are jutted in a few different places. I appreciate that. The color on his gum line isn't too bad, but it doesn't flow well with the rest of his cotton candy bubblegum flavored mouth. Now moving up, the head, like I said, is just completely misshapen. Almost looks like a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers, the shape itself. So I think that's a total miss, and that actually makes the placement of the eyes look really strange. Now while the shape of the eyes is fine, it's your traditional Venom, I don't like what they did with the color. You finally see a little bit tint of blue in there, but it's kind of scattered throughout, where it's traditionally a solid line around the edges or the inside of it. It feels like this whole piece, they just kind of had a blank presentation body and they just threw crap at it, hoping it would get better and better and it would maybe look more gross or shiny or alive, but it just honestly became a big pile of shit. The tongue is horrible. The sculpt, the paint. On his body, it's a mess and horrible. The inside of the mouth is way too pink. Some of the gum stuff, like right back here, looks okay. The saliva effect, the hot glue, is not good. And the overall shape and sculpt of this piece is a total miss. It is so bad. The only thing it has going for it, it's decently shiny and reflective, but that doesn't overcome anything else. I'm sorry, the paint on this is just a trash as well. It is a 1 out of 5. Horrible paint job. I don't even know what they were thinking. And I think the same thing with the sculpt. Did they even look at a Venom piece to reference it? The sculpt, the shape of the head, the tendril things that are supposedly going on that were slapped on by paint. The sculpt is a 1 out of 5 as well. So it seems kind of pointless to jump into our next category of value. $600+ for this piece. It's trash. I hate it. Value is a 1 out of 5. I wouldn't have paid $100 shipped for this if I had known it. And granted, there are some people out there, you know, art is subjective. I totally respect and appreciate that there are people that would absolutely love this. So that got me thinking, are we going to do a statue giveaway with this? We're not, but we're going to do something special, so hang on to that. So does this piece have the X Factor? What a stupid question to ask. X Factor is the final score. While it's not a cumulative score, it's the overall score of this piece. This is the worst statue I have ever bought. I absolutely hate this. If I could give it a grade lower than a 1 or a trash, I would, but this is a piece of trash statue. It is such a ripoff. One of my very good friends, he also got one as well, and he got it a few days before me, and he didn't give me any hints. He just said, let me know what you think of it when you open it. But this is so horrible. So I started thinking, all right, so what are we going to do with this? I don't want it. We could give it away, but that seems kind of weird. So I have a fantastic idea where you guys are going to be involved. We're going to give, hopefully, a whole bunch of money to charity, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this statue, and not in the way that Spider-Man had the fun. So go ahead and comment below guessing what that is. Comment below what you think of this statue. That'll be on a later video. And the reason I ask you to comment is it'll actually help you win that statue we talked about in the statue giveaway. To win one of these Mortal Kombat statues, all you have to do is comment on a video. At 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick a random video and pick a random comment. That person will win the prize. They can choose between these two pieces. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So I think this is officially the worst score I've ever given a statue. I don't think I've ever given a statue an overall score of a T for trash, but this is it. I absolutely hate it. However, we're going to try and make a bad situation good. So make sure you hit that Mr. X logo and that bell notification to subscribe. In the next week, I'll launch a video of what we're going to do with this. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get some money to charity. I think it's going to be awesome. And check out some of these other custom playlists in the meantime. Until then, take care of yourself and don't buy this guy. Talk to you tomorrow.